One of the most common misconceptions after a period of silence is believing that the best approach is to act quickly. Sending a strategic message, posting something suggestive, or trying to provoke a reaction may seem like logical solutions, but in reality, these actions are not what make a man miss you. The real impact comes from absolute silence. At first, he might feel relieved, thinking he has control over the situation. But as time passes, that sense of security fades. Human nature tends to value what feels like it's being lost, and this perception grows in the absence of contact. If you understand what to avoid, he will inevitably start to miss you, without you having to force anything. Initially, he may see it as a game, believing that sooner or later, you'll reach out again. But when the silence continues, something shifts. The no-contact rule is not just about physical distance. It's a powerful psychological trigger, the fear of loss. When someone is certain they always have access to you, their interest decreases. But when uncertainty arises, desire increases. By cutting off all communication, you plant a seed of doubt that wasn't there before, and that doubt starts to take the place of the certainty of your presence. However, there is a crucial point. No contact only works if your energy is truly detached from him. Cutting communication while still obsessing over him, checking his social media, and thinking about him constantly keeps the connection alive. Even without logical explanation, he can pick up on that energy and somehow still feel that he has you within reach. Real transformation happens when your absence goes beyond the physical and becomes emotional and energetic. When you shift your focus back to yourself, to your own growth and authentic happiness, the impact becomes inevitable. It's not just your absence that makes him miss you, it's your evolution. When he realizes you are no longer the same woman you once were, curiosity arises, and that's when the dynamic shifts. Many women make the mistake of anxiously waiting for a sign. And when the wait becomes unbearable, they give in. They send a casual message, post something calculated to get attention, or try to reconnect in some way. But when he senses he still has control, nothing really changes. What truly intrigues him is not an attempt to reconnect, but a shift in vibration. He may ignore a message, he may pretend he didn't see a post, but he cannot ignore the energy of a woman who has become magnetic. As Joe Dispenza teaches, your frequency speaks louder than any words. People pick up on your energy before they even hear your voice. If your mind remains attached to him, so will your energy. But if you truly turn your focus inward, find joy in your own company, and start feeling whole without depending on him, he will notice. And at that moment, everything shifts without you having to lift a finger. So, what should you do in practice? Simple. Stop waiting. Direct your attention to what makes you feel good, to what strengthens your essence. Experience new things. Open yourself up to other possibilities. Expand your reality. When your life becomes interesting to you, your energy transforms. And it's exactly that shift that makes him miss you, without you having to do anything at all. Before anything else, transform your energy from the inside out. Feel complete, confident, and fulfilled without needing validation from anyone. Instead of focusing on whether he will come back, concentrate on becoming the best version of yourself, secure, radiant, and unshakable. As Joe Dispenza teaches, your mind does not distinguish between what is real and what you intensely feel. When you internalize this new reality with genuine emotion, your vibration shifts, and he notices this transformation without you having to say a word. The secret lies in detachment. He may assume that sooner or later, you will show some sign, attempt to reconnect, or prove that you're still available. But what he doesn't expect is to realize that your life has moved forward, and in an even better way. This silent shift has a profound impact, even if he doesn't understand why. Absence alone makes no difference if he still feels that you are available in the background. What truly affects him is the sense that something essential has changed, that he may have lost you forever. Nothing that is always accessible creates longing. Desire arises from the perception that something important has slipped out of reach. And this is not about playing games or manipulation. If you try to appear fine just to provoke a reaction, he will sense the inauthenticity. But if you simply disappear, without explanations, without any attempts to prove anything, your absence becomes a question in his mind. Silence turns into a space filled with unanswered questions. What truly impacts him is not just the absence, but the unpredictability. If he always knew exactly how you would react, and suddenly, he can no longer anticipate your moves, his perception changes. When your vibration shifts, it's not just him who notices, everyone around you perceives this new energy. And that's when the dynamic flips. You stop being the predictable woman and become someone mysterious, independent, and more intriguing. He starts wondering, has she really moved on? Has another man entered her life? This doubt is powerful. Humans fear losing what they once took for granted. But there's a crucial detail. This only works if it's authentic. If you pretend to be fine just to test his reaction, the illusion will quickly fade. But if the change is real, your absence will carry a weight he cannot ignore. What makes a woman unforgettable is not what she says or does, but the silent transformation that resonates around her, without needing words. And the big question, when should you reach out again? The answer is simple, when it's no longer a necessity. If you're still counting the days, waiting for a sign, or anticipating his response, it means your energy is still tied to that expectation. As long as this emotional dependence exists, he will sense it. The right time to reconnect is when you are so centered, so fulfilled in your own life, that his reaction becomes irrelevant. And that detachment is irresistible because it conveys confidence, not neediness. And how do you break the silence without seeming forced? Be natural. Avoid long, emotional messages. Steer clear of generic approaches like, "Hey, how are you?" that create no real impact. The ideal way is to bring a sense of ease and curiosity. Something like, "I walked past that restaurant you used to hate and thought of you. Do you still think it's terrible, or have you changed your mind?" This reopens the conversation in a casual and spontaneous way. In the end, it all comes down to one thing, your energy. When you truly take control of your own life, attraction happens effortlessly. When you let go of the need to make him come back, the dynamic shifts completely. If there are still feelings on his part, the desire to reconnect will arise naturally. If there aren't, that in itself is an answer, and it shouldn't affect your peace. No anxiety, no resentment, because the real impact isn't in the message you send, but in the energy that comes with it. If your approach is filled with expectation, he will sense it. But if it's light, carefree, and detached from the outcome, what truly reaches him is your confidence and self-sufficiency. What a man doesn't expect is to feel that you've taken back control. If there's still something inside him, this shift will be undeniable. But the most surprising part is that, by this point, you might realize that he no longer holds a significant space in your life. Because when you grow, your perception changes, and so do your priorities. In the end, what truly matters isn't him coming back out of fear of losing you or because he realizes you are always available. The real impact happens when he genuinely feels your absence and understands that your happiness doesn't depend on him. This is the key point, and it was never about him. It was always about you. About your growth, how you carry yourself, and the energy you radiate into the world. Joe Dispenza explains that when your mind and vibration transform, the reality around you adjusts to reflect that change. The same applies to relationships. If he still sees you as the same predictable, always accessible woman, nothing shifts. But if suddenly, he is faced with someone confident, fulfilled, and detached from his approval, the dynamic flips. Mystery arises, respect strengthens. Because men aren't drawn to neediness, they're drawn to the unexpected, the new, the subtle challenge of something that feels just out of reach. The choice is in your hands. Keep repeating the same patterns, waiting for him to recognize your worth, or flip the switch, focus on yourself, and let your transformation speak for itself. If this message resonated with you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments. Have you ever used silence as a response? How was your experience? A big hug.